CTV family. Catch us live on your TV.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still entertaining you all the way up to 5 o'clock. Remember the hashtag to use EKSE on channel 263. I will be your hostess with the most, like I always do, making sure that you are entertained all the way up to 5 o'clock. If you are loving and feeling everything that is happening on the show, if you're liking my hair, if you're liking what I'm doing, if you're liking every content we're giving you, please do go on our social media pages and let us know. It is EKSE_live on Twitter, as well as EKSE on K-Town TV on Facebook, as well as EKSE_CTV on Instagram. One thing that I love is applauding and encouraging young people who are doing absolutely incredible things. And this next person is just that. Sandisiwe Tabata is doing incredible things. First and foremost, South Africa has qualified to be part of the Olympics team in Tokyo next year. And she is so working very, very hard to make sure that she does make that squad. But even regardless of her working hard to make that squad right now, she has just achieved so many different things for herself in the realm of sports, particularly hockey. And we're going to be just talking to her, discussing how she's been dealing with things, how she's been preparing to make sure that she does make this incredible squad that represents us in Tokyo next year. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, help me welcome Sandisiwe Tabata. Hey girl.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Girl,
So
I
much
got
fun.
you. Now, one thing that I want to know is, like, you know, some people will be like Beyonce, she was singing ever since she was very young. Have you always been interested in hockey, or is it something that came to you maybe, let's say, in high school, or ever since you could walk, you realized, no man, I was created to play some sort of sport?
Realized quite young because my mom said no to playing netball. I'm quite short. So she said you would never have a chance. Well, not that I would never, but she just said try something else. So, you know, when you have to pick a winter sport in primary school, and hockey was what I had to choose. That was the alternative. And since then, I haven't stopped. Well, besides last year, but yeah.
Yeah. And then what are some of the things actually that make sure, because I mean, when I was reading your bio, there's so many inspiring things, and there's so many things that you've won for yourself, and so many teams that you've entered and you've thrived in. What is the one thing that you would say you need as a person to actually make sure that you are the greatest athlete that you can be?
I think definitely your mind and drive to want to be at the top of your game. It definitely takes being curious about the game to also better yourself and to just wanting to master your craft. It's definitely doing the hours outside of what everybody else is doing what you're doing outside of training. And that's what definitely will make you set yourself apart from your others or your peers.
And now with COVID-19, as I did mention earlier on, you are preparing to hopefully get chosen. But I already said, we see it in the future, and I see you getting chosen. But what are some of the things that you've been doing? And I actually want to know, since COVID-19, have you been able to train with some other people? Because I definitely in sports, it's a team thing. You need other people there. So how has it been the process of training to make sure that you are the best when it comes to those trial week?
So of course, at the different levels, it's difficult to train with other people or use facilities. So in the beginning, a lot of the work that we had to do had to be body weight stuff.
Yeah.
And we'd be sent programs to be able to keep up with our fitness, and not necessarily even focusing on being fit, but also taking the approach of doing your rehab and your prehab. So this is the chance to now focus on the little things that we really wouldn't be focusing on if we were all together in a typical season. So making sure to strengthen our core, strengthen the things that might have given us problems before. So that's what's been quite nice about the COVID period. And as the levels have become less restrictions, then we've been able to train with a trainer and go outside or get equipment wherever you can. And now that gyms are open, then yeah.
And in this time, actually, because I know in winter our bodies take harder to things. How have you been able to actually stay fit? And also, I mean, in general, I've been speaking to so many people, and the process of just staying at home. When you're at home, sometimes you don't feel motivated to do anything. You have to take care of your mind, as you mentioned. So maybe depression and all of these other things can come into play. But you always have to, as an athlete or as a person in general, just move away those distractions. How are the ways in which you find to deal with your space, your time, your career in this moment, in this season?
For me, what worked best is trying to keep as close to a schedule as possible.
Yeah.
Something that's close to what you would typically do in a day. And of course, I think it's also, I've told myself it's okay to have those down weeks. This is not a usual time for anyone.
Yeah.
So to just keep to a schedule as close as possible. And what I've recently done with some teammates of mine is have an accountability partner to help us, post a screenshot of what you've done, and just that would also motivate a person to, what, my friend has done this, my teammate has done this, let me go and do something. It's definitely something that, I mean, I play a team sport, I've been playing team sport for so long,
Mm.
so doing things on your own is very different.
Yeah.
So I think making use and having your teammates there with you to keep you accountable, to keep you motivated, is something that's a new thing that's helped a lot.
And actually, you spoke about something so important right now, is that this is a team sport and you have other people with you. And you spoke about being consistent because you've been doing and playing this game for so long. And I actually want to find out, what does it take to be consistent in anything? Is it because you love the sport that you've been consistent, or because you've trained your mind to be consistent in this time? Or has it just been, okay, this sort of sports is working out for me, so therefore I'm going to work at it? And if so, are you also studying to do other things? And if you are, what is the balance between that?
Okay, so I am currently studying, so I am a student athlete,
Yeah.
and balance is very important.
Yeah.
But it's also you also need to consider that you are a student first before an athlete,
Yeah.
because you need to get your degree. You want to be able to do other things while still enjoying what you're doing. And I mean, hockey has been able to have let me have opportunity to be able to study. I'm doing investment management,
Yeah.
so it's nothing that's no degree is ever easy.
Yeah.
But in maintaining the balance, I think what's helped is because I've been doing is have has a schedule for so long, um, and I'm someone who can adapt. So obviously, varsity sport is very different to high school sport. So
Yeah.
the transition was tough, but the ability to adapt is possible.
Yeah.
In terms of staying consistent, I think it's definitely the desire and the drive to 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 do well. And if you have team set goals, you're always going to want to work towards them. Um, I think staying consistent is one of the most difficult things to do as an athlete, but it's definitely possible, and to just have the right environment around you to be able to have that happen. But I
Yeah.
think if you want to take it to the next level, you can't always be not necessarily happy with where you are, but you have a desire to be better,
Right.
and to continuously push yourself to. There's always something to strive to be better in.
Okay, let's just quickly run to the future and let's go to the Olympics, and let's say that you guys do have to play. Which team do you think is actually going to be the toughest and the most challenging for South Africa to face and beat?
We're in a very tough pool. We have the Dutch, who is in our pool, and they've been number one consistently for a very long time. So they will be definitely be the biggest challenge. But I think from what I've heard from past Olympians or ex-Olympians is that every single team steps up. This is a different tournament to any other tournaments, Olympic Games. Um, so I think each person that we will, or the team will face, will be a great, great challenge, because everyone wants to go there to show up
And
and to
show
get the
all.
gold medal at the end of the day. Exactly,
Mm.
exactly. So, yeah, but the Dutch definitely consistently the best team in the world for a very long time. So that might be a big challenge mentally as well.
Right. And speaking about actually just getting yourself to be the best in the team, you actually had a very tough year in 2019, and then you had some injuries. How have you healed from that, and how have you made sure that, you know what, by the time we go, I'm gonna be grand, I'm gonna be at my best?
So yeah, 2019 was tough. I have healed from it. So, but I have picked up a couple of injuries that come up afterwards. But all of that is fine now. Um, for me, the main challenge is my mental headspace, because
Yeah.
I know I haven't played 2 seasons now. So I missed out on pretty much the rest of 2019, and then 2020 is out.
Yeah.
So playing competitive hockey compared to training on your own, it's different. So that means that I've had to alter the way that I train so that it does incorporate decision making.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so being deliberate about the things that I do and how to train to maybe be back to where I used to be, or even better.
Right.
So it's a different challenge, and it's a different headspace, and very calculated in the way that I have to go about it.
Seeing as though it's Women's Month, can you just give me maybe a name or two of the women that inspire you to want to achieve greater and bigger things? So, I mean, you're quite young, you're 21 years old, and you're still going to grow. So who are some of the women that you look up to, especially in sports?
In sport, I don't think I need to look far for people I look up to. I definitely look to my peers next to me to continue to do better. But I mean, of course, Serena Williams, of course, Naomi Osaka, a force in their game, and you always want to aspire to be that one to be remembered because you have had an impact in the game. You've changed the game for what it has been, and you've taken up that space. So definitely those around me and those two for sure.
And as we close this interview, can you just let me know in 30 seconds, what would you like the younger women who are watching this to get from this? I mean, it is Women's Month, and we're all about inspiring those around us. So any encouragement or advice that you have for younger women and women in general?
Yeah, being a woman in this country is actually,
Ghetto.
it's yes. So, but as in being an athlete, you always want to be someone who can contribute to the game. And to be able to do that, you want to set yourself apart. So first you need to love the game that you're doing, but also to set yourself apart, do what people aren't doing. Focus on the things outside of training to be able to get to that point.
Oh, that's so great, Sandisiwe. Thank you so much. And where can we find you on social media pages? Give me your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter. Maybe someone wants to find out more.
My Instagram and my Facebook are not too difficult. Just my name, Sandisiwe _Tabata on Instagram. My Facebook, same, Sandisiwe Tabata, and Twitter, pretty much the same. Nothing difficult.
All right, thank you so much for chatting to us, guys. Please do hop on our social. Right now, though, we're going to take a little bit of a short break, and we will see you after this.
CTV family. Catch us live on your TV screens.